Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I want to share with you the easiest and simplest way to get sound from your TV to your speakers. Whether you've got a sound bar, or in my case, I've got an AV receiver connected to two speakers as well as a subwoofer. And so in this video, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about eARC and eARC. eARC is audio return channel and enhanced audio return channel. We're going to tell you what connections you need to make and where those are going to go on the TV as well as your AVR or your soundbar. Now, before we get into the video, I want to give a big thanks to our channel sponsor, Arendal Sound.
You guys know I love big sound. Well, Arendal's 1528 series has taken big to a whole new level. The Tower 8 is an absolute beast, 53 inches tall, 174 pounds, and engineered to perfection with time-aligned curved baffle. But it's not just about size, it's about the massive soundstage and clarity that these speakers deliver. Trust me, once you hear the 1528 series, there's no going back. Check out the link down in the description below.
So let's first talk about eARC and eARC. So eARC stands for Audio Return Channel. eARC stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel. And we'll talk about the differences between the two. So both of these formats allow us to use the HDMI cable, not just for video, but also to bring the audio from your TV back down to either your soundbar or your AVR. Now, the first thing you need to do if you're going to connect it is you need to make sure that your TV has eARC or eARC. You can see that on one of the HDMI inputs on the back of your TV. You also need to have eARC or eARC in your soundbar or in your AVR. So the biggest difference between eARC and eARC is the amount of bandwidth, the amount of information that's traveling through that channel. eARC can only handle up to 5.1 of the bed layer plus Atmos. That's using the Dolby Digital Plus codec. So it can handle all of the 5 bed layer speakers on the bottom as well as your object-based height channels. So the other benefit that eARC has over eARC is you can have up to 7.1 of your bed layer speakers plus your object-based height speakers, but this is a lossless audio. So this is basically an uncompressed audio. It's the highest audio you can send through that cable versus on eARC, you only get a lossy, basically a compressed audio. So it's just a lower quality signal. So once you verify that your TV has eARC or eARC and either your soundbar or your AVR has it as well, so go ahead and connect that HDMI cable to the TV input that's labeled eARC or eARC, and then do the same with the other end of that cable to either your receiver or your soundbar. So now that you made your connection, you'll likely need to go into your TV and enable eARC. Now I have a Hisense U8N TV, so let's jump into the menu and I'll show you where to find that. So here we are inside the Hisense menu. I'm going to hit the settings button on the remote, and then we're going to come down over here where it says sound. Then you'll see we've got the option for eARC. We're going to go ahead and click that and set that to auto. Now that's enabled, we're going to back up. So that's all we need to do in the TV. Once you've enabled it in your TV, you'll also likely need to go into your AVR and enable it there. So in my setup, I have a Marantz Cinema 30 AVR. So let's go into the menu and I'll show you where to find that. Now we'll click the setup button on the Marantz Cinema 30. From here, we're going to come down to video, click OK, and then go into HDMI setup. Once inside here, you'll see the option to turn on or off ARC. So right now this is turned on. If that is off, go ahead and turn that on. Now, depending on what TV or AVR you have, that location may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, but hopefully you get the idea of what you're looking for and what to enable. Another thing that you might have to enable in your AVR and or your TV is something called CEC. CEC is a way that you can use your TV's remote to control your AVR or your soundbar. So when you turn on the TV, it turns on the AVR and your soundbar. Likewise, when you turn it off, it'll turn off those devices. Now, I'm just going to tell you up front, eARC is not always 100% foolproof. There's a lot of times I turn on my AVR and I won't get any sound. If that happens to you, most of the time you can turn off your TV, that'll power off your AVR, turn it back on, it'll resync. If for whatever reasons you're not getting audio and it just drops out altogether, go into the settings of your TV and disable eARC. Give it a second and then go ahead and enable it again. And then again, usually that'll help it sync up. Now, I really like using eARC. It simplifies it for my family. I don't have to have multiple remotes. I simply turn on the TV using the TV remote and everything is up and running. Now, if you've got multiple sources, let's say an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 5, maybe you have an Apple TV, a Roku, something of that nature, you can either plug those directly into your TV and use that to select the input, or you can plug those into your AVR if you've got one, or if your soundbar has multiple inputs, you can use those as well. I'd recommend connecting it both ways and seeing which is the most reliable in your setup. Now keep in mind, if you're using a soundbar, you're likely not going to get as good of sound as if you had a dedicated AVR with at least a pair of speakers, if not more. There's just no physical way that a 7.1 Dolby Atmos soundbar is going to adequately represent where those sounds are supposed to come from in your room by having all of those speakers in one device up front, right in front of your TV. Now, some do a better job than others, and of course, most soundbars are an upgrade over your TV speakers. So if that's where you got to start, that's totally cool. But I would consider long-term goal, move to maybe a 2.1 system. 2 speakers up front, 1 subwoofer. Then later on, you can add a center channel as funds become available. Then you may want to add your rear surrounds. And then if you've got the ability down the road and you want to either cut holes in your ceiling or mount them to the wall, you can add your height channels, and then you'll be able to get Dolby Atmos. Now, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer those. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless, and we'll catch you in the next video.